Hello everyone, I am here. Welcome to tonight's Live with Lisa. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to get on, and while you're doing that, I got my iPad fired up here so that I can see your comments when you guys get on. Say hi, tell me where you're watching from. I'll tell you what, I was going to complain about Florida weather, but I have no right to do that when I have seen how amazingly cold it is everywhere else. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I was born and raised in the suburbs of Chicago, so I am no stranger to really cold weather. Hi, Jean. I'm glad that you're here with me. So if you're struggling with below zero temperatures, I'm so sorry. The good news is us Floridians are going to get more back to normal starting tomorrow, which I'm really excited about because it's supposed to be getting warmer and warmer over the next couple days. And actually next week, we're supposed to be low 80s, which makes me very happy. Hi, Alice. I'm glad that you're here. I'm trying to get my iPad going so I can see your comments. Oh, frigid. How cold is it there, Jean? I know that it's really, really miserably cold up in the Northwest. It's just awful. I've got family in the Chicago area, so I know how you guys are struggling. Up in the Northwest. All right, I'm turning off my sound because I don't want to hear myself. Below zero there too. Okay, I'm not going to complain. Hi, Susan. I'm not going to complain that it was like 62 degrees here today then, because that's like spring to you guys, right? Horrible here. Absolutely horrible. Okay, let me set this down. I got to make sure I put that in a spot where I can see your comments. Hi, Patty. I'm glad that you're here. I'm so glad you guys have joined me. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Every once in a while, this exterior mic gets kind of finicky. It likes to be higher or lower. Jean says it warmed up only -8. Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't miss that. I really don't. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Sherry. -8, I can't even imagine. I was watching, I think it was on Instagram today, where somebody did that boiling water thing where they throw it up in the air and then it turns like into snow as it comes down. Oh my gosh. I remember those days. I remember the blizzard, I think it was 77 or 79 when I lived in Chicago, and I never wish to repeat that again. Yes, it's very, very cold. Even California is cold. Really? Yeah, I'm complaining, but I shouldn't complain. I really shouldn't, because it's nothing like it is in other countries. You guys stay safe, stay warm. This is what I say. This is perfect stamping weather. Good, Ruth, you can hear me? Okay, and the sound is good to you too, Kay. All right, awesome. All right, what do you say we start with a prize patrol? Let's see what I've got to kick the night off. I have one of my new favorite accessories. It's these frosted and clear epoxy droplets. I'm telling you what, if you don't have these are like a hidden gem in the catalog. Hi, Denise. I'm glad that you're watching. There is a sheet of frosted ones and a sheet of clear ones. And if you're thinking they're like rhinestones, think again. These are not faceted. They're more rounded, and I'm loving these. So I have my handy dandy little tin, and there's lots of names in there. Look at that. So I've got you all in there, and I'm going to shake those up. And let's see. Let's start with the prize patrol. That's a great way to start off tonight. I'm glad you made it, Denise. All right, I'm digging around and I'm mixing them up and I'm making sure I have just one. And I do. And the first winner of these is Doris Strom. Congratulations, Doris. I'm going to grab my glue dots. I am going to send you the frosted and clear epoxy shapes. Let me tack those right on top of here. I thought my mom would be here tonight to help moderate comments, but I don't see my virtual Facebook assistant. I don't know where she is. Maybe she's having dinner. Megan, I invited her on tonight just to kind of peruse and be with us. I thought that would be fun. All right, what do you guys say that we get started? For those of you, this is your first time on Facebook Live, I want to give you just a couple reminders. There is a lag between the time that you're typing and the time I'm actually seeing your comments, as well as when I'm speaking and you're actually hearing it. It's about 10 seconds. So please be patient with me since I'm going to try to do it all. I want to see what else. Don't forget, I'm going to have tutorials and pictures up for you tonight right here on this Facebook page of all the projects I'm going to share with you, as well as the one I'm going to demonstrate. Actually, I'm going to demonstrate too. All right, so what do you say? We get going. I'm going to turn the camera down. Here we go. All right, and on the way down, just give me a minute just to kind of get the view a little prettier if I can. And I'm going to turn on my little handy dandy light here and try to move you guys in a little bit closer. All right, I can see your comments. Everything looks good to go. I'm making a little room here on my desk. I work in a corner, So this is actually the corner, like the counter corner. So it's very tight here. So bear with me. I am going to start tonight using the stamp set Incredible Like You. Now, I don't know how many of you have already purchased this or not, but I'm hoping if you haven't, I may push you over the edge. I looked today and it is on back order. I know. But it's coming back. We're just waiting for the shipment to come in. Stampin' Up! Manufactures our own stamps, so have no fret. They're coming back really, really quickly. We just have sold the dickens out of this, and I'm hoping tonight that I'm going to give you some more ideas on using it. Hi, Elaine. I'm glad that you're here. All right, so let's get started with this one. I have already pre-cut some pieces. I'm just pulling those out. I've got a piece here of Coastal Cabana cardstock. And I'm going to do a little bit of stamping first. I'm going to be using the same color ink as I am paper. So that's Coastal Cabana. Let me open that up. And I've already mounted my images here. So I've got that funky striped one. You guys might remember the cards that I've posted with the videos and such on my blog, as well as here on our Facebook VIP page. Things are selling out fast, but don't worry. We actually had gotten a video webinar from Sarah, who is the CEO of Stampin' Up! And I just want to assure you they are on top of things as quickly as they can. I'll talk to you about that in just a little bit because it'll be easier when I'm facing you. All right, this stamp is about the same size as my ink pad. Do you see that? So I'm going to turn this up and I'm going to ink it face up on my table. That kind of assures me that I don't miss a spot, because if I ink it the other way, I tend to kind of miss one of the ends. And I'm going to stamp this on an angle down here at the bottom. I just want to make sure that all my stripes are going to fit within the perimeter of my cardstock. So I'm going to press out that image, making sure that I get a nice trace of all those little lines, and then I'll lift. So I've got that stamped here. Keep in mind you can stamp off if this is too dark for you, but we're going to do another step on this. I've got my Stampin' Scrub off camera. You know, and recently someone asked me, do you use your chamois? You know, I do, but not very often, only because when I'm in here stamping, it's like a marathon session. And I mean, I am stamping for long periods of times, sometimes days. So my chamois has to have a lot of rinses, and I find my Stampin' Scrub is just the bigger workhorse for me. I love my chamois when I'm stamping with friends or I'm going to a friend's house because I can take it. It's very, very portable. Okay, Susan's asking, do you think the ribbon will come back before celebration ends? Susan, I'd like to address that. I am not sure. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a few minutes when I talk to you about back orders and forecasting. Hi, Megan. I'm glad that you're here. All right, my next step, as I'm going to move this out of the way, is I am actually going to emboss this. Now remember, if you're going to stamp and emboss, you always have to stamp first, then emboss, because you're not going to want to stamp over those bumpy lines. And I'm using one of my favorite embossing folders. This is the Basic Polka Dot. So I'm going to go ahead and slip that down inside. And then I'm going to move that ink pen out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. And I'm just using my regular basic platform here. I've got a clear mat on the bottom to protect it. My embossing folder is there. Another clear mat over the top to protect that. And then I will crank that through. I love stamping and embossing. It creates a really added layer of texture to your cards. Let me just show you what I mean. So in addition to that stamped image, we now have a really cool embossed image on top of that. I want you to keep this technique in mind, and I call it a technique because a lot of people just emboss or just stamp, but they don't often do both. So stamp backgrounds. So if you have a floral image, stamp it all over the cardstock to get a background type of look, and then emboss over it. It's absolutely stunning. I think you're going to really find that that's quite impressive. All right, I'm going to bring that off to the side. And then what I'm going to do next is I am going to take a layer of Whisper White cardstock. I shouldn't say a layer. This is the card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11. Keep in mind, I've got a tutorial for you that's going to include this project and the others I'm going to show you with this stamp set. The tutorial is going to include pictures and cutting dimensions, so don't feel like you've got to write all this stuff down if you're trying to get all the dimensions down. All right, I've just flipped that over. Silicone craft sheet to help keep my work surface nice and clean. I'm going to be a bit more generous because I've embossed this and I want to make sure I get in all those little nooks and crannies. All right, and then I am going to lay this here, and then we're going to create a small border all the way around that white card base. And then I'm going to rub this together. Megan says she did this today. She stamped and embossed over it. Isn't it pretty? Ooh, it's so fun, isn't it? All right, next thing I've got here is a layer of Whisper White cardstock. Let me move that off out of the way. And I'm going to need to bring this in because I don't want to get ink on my work surface. Little tiny piece of Whisper White cardstock. And I've mounted some more images from that stamp set. So I've got this image here, and I know it's going to be really hard to see. So let me show it to you in the stamp set. There are two images here at the bottom. This one is what I'm calling the stem, and this one's probably like the leaf or the petals, depending on what color you stamp it in. This fits in this. So if you're limited on stamping supplies and you don't necessarily have lots of different tones of greens or blues, I'm going to show you how you can stamp off and then layer these like two-step stamping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the stem image first, which is that solid one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to start right here in the center. I'm going to start a little bit lower. So I've got one here. Oh, look at that. Lisa, nice job. All right, I'm going to turn it sideways so it's a little friendlier for my hand. You know what? I make more mistakes than you guys could ever count. Some of you are probably right now really excited that I did that, right? I know that when I make mistakes, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm so glad that you did that, because I often think that you can't make a mistake. Oh, if you only saw my trash can here in my stamp studio. All right, that's going on my scrub. I'm grabbing the other image. This is the leaf or the petals. Keep in mind, if you do this in color, this will look like buds on top of here. So I'm going to ink this one up, and I'm going to stamp off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up in here the very best that I can and press. Do you see the two tones in the blue? Or in this case, it's Coastal Cabana. Isn't that really pretty? And then we're going to do the same thing here. I know I'm watching you guys on my iPad, and it's freezing up. And I don't know why. And that's probably a Wi-Fi issue. As long as we're streaming live and it's going good, that's all I care about. So there you go. There's a closer image. Isn't that really pretty? All right, I'm going to switch stamps now, and I'm switching ink pads. I'm going to close this one up because I think you guys know an open ink pad when I'm stamping is always a recipe for disaster at my house. I'm going to Mango Melody. Strange color combination, but wait until you see how pretty this is. Inside that same stamp set, there are these like random polka dots, and there's 3 on here. Now let me talk to you a little bit about this. This can be built with these and with these, since you can make all kinds of fun vines. But I decided to take this and not use it as a background, but to use it just to give this a little bit of color. Now this is meant to be very whimsical, and it is not going to all line up. So if you're one of those A-type personalities, this is probably going to freak you out. But keep in mind, this is meant to look very eclectic, very whimsical. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp that off over here. So what I'm looking to do now is just to create a little bit of color around those flowers. And I'm really not even trying to make it look like they're lined up. That's not important to me. And then I'm going to add some here, and I'm going to add some more here. All right, real subtle, real simple. All right, scrubs off camera. I'm going to close this one up because we're done with that. Hi, Mary Lou. I'm glad that you joined us. I'm switching over to Memento ink, and I've pulled out one of the greetings from that stamp set. This one says, I just adore you. Now, there are other greetings inside the stamp set. You know, my favorites are the stamp sets that have images as well as words, because I find that you get a lot of bang for your buck. This image will fill this if you don't want to color it in. You can also stamp it on colored cardstock, which is going to make it even easier yet. But I love these mixed fonts. I think those are really fun. All right, so I'm going to use the Memento ink, and I'm going to ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp this near the top. Okay, my head is really far away. I'm going to pray that's right as center and straight as possible. Hey, not too bad. Not too bad. And then I am going to cover that up, and we are going to move this out of the way. And then I am going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. I'm going to add some adhesive. There's my oops on the back side. You know what I say? There's 2 sides to every piece of paper, so I use them. This is a small layer of the Mango Melody cardstock just to give this a little extra color. And then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm grabbing my dimensionals. And I'm going to be generous with these. You guys know how I feel about the postage meter at the post office, right? So I always am cognizant that this is going to go through those little rollers, and I want it to come out looking balanced on the other end. So I'm going to go ahead and take off those little paper backings, and then we're going to mount this. But you know what? we're not going to put this where you think it's going to go. I'm going to put this in a fun place, but not upside down. I'm going to put that down here. I'm going to work in this lower corner. I'm going to overlap these lines to kind of soften that up a little bit, and I'm going to lay that in place. I've then cut myself, oh, this is about 17 inches of the new white flax ribbon. Ooh, hoo, hoo, am I loving this stuff. It's super soft, super pliable, and I think you know that you can separate this like you can the burlap trim, the ribbon, and you can pull out single strands. It's thicker and easier to use than white baker's twine, and quite frankly, look how many strands are in a piece here, so quite a great economical value if you separate it. So I'm going to come up around the inside of my card. I want to make sure that that's straight. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to work on this side because I want a little visual interest to this. And I am going to make a single loop bow. I just want to make sure that I've got these evened up as much as I can. So I'm going to make a tie. I'm looking to keep it straight. So I'm going to have my finger here to kind of train it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and around and I'm going to bring this one through. Kind of like you're making a bow, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to pull that other end all the way through and I'm going to pull it tightly. Now I'm squeezing my knot, I'm kind of pinching it, and I'm going to adjust that so that it's not too big and, you know, kind of so my loop is a little bit tamed, so to speak. And then I'm going to fluff that up. All right, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to give this end a haircut. So I'm going to go this way. There we go. We've got a very, very simple card. This stamp set is absolutely wonderful. I'm telling you what, it's one of those sets that I just kept going and going and going and going. All right, so here's one of the cards that's going to be in the tutorial for you. Oh, you guys like it. Oh, thanks for the love. I love when you send me emojis. It really makes me feel encouraged. All right, and then I've got some more ideas for you here. Let me pull them out of my little envelope. Okay, here's the next one. This one is actually designer series paper. This is that Petal Promenade designer paper. I stamped those same little stems and leaves that are here, and I just made it like a cascading like bouquet. And look at those little flowers. Aren't those pretty? Those are right down here. Look at that. And I stamped those inside of here. The designer paper really does the work. And then I die cut an oval and I stamped my greeting inside. Did a little bit of sponging with the Dauburn. If you know me, I really like the bling and that metallic twine. It's so pretty, isn't it? So we've got those two. Here's my third one. I used those roses. There is no die cut for that image. So I did fussy cut those, super easy. And then of course those leaves, which are here in the stamp set. And then this is vellum. How many times have you guys overlooked your vellum? Break it out. This is StazOn ink. Remember when you're stamping on vellum, it's very, very important that you use StazOn because Memento is water-based. Therefore, it will not dry. It's just going to be a slippery, slick mess. And then I used my little bow maker and I made a double bow using that really pretty white polka dot tool. So there's your third one. So this is what we got so far. And then here is the last one. Isn't this a wow? Oh, I'm telling you, these stripes, I'm loving these stripes. You can go every which way and it's really quite stunning, isn't it? So this is Calypso Coral. So what I did on this card is I actually used both of these images. So I stamped the rose outline first and then I filled it with this one. Same color, I just stamped off like I did here to fill it. I did fussy cut those. These come from another framelit set. I just stole another die. I'm sure you guys got leaves and sprigs and all that kind of good stuff. Another double bow using that brand new Calypso Coral satin ribbon that's in the Occasions catalog. Isn't that pretty? Really simple. And guess what? Look, no greeting. This is one of those cards that's going to be fabulous if I need something at the last minute. Maybe it's a sympathy card. Maybe it's a get well card, a miss you card, a birthday card. I can make this an anything card. Ready to go. Really, really classy. So your tutorial is going to include all 4 of these cards along with pictures and cutting dimensions, of course, a complete supply list. And the stamp set is called Incredible Like You. All right, let me flip the camera around because we're going to do some more prizes. I'm here. Okay, you guys like it. Thanks, Megan, for all the love. I appreciate that. I like when you guys send me emojis. It makes me feel like you're watching and you like it. You know, I'm trying to read all your comments and it's really difficult. All right, I'm scrolling back. Which ribbon is that? The coral in the, okay, it's the Calypso Coral in the Occasions catalog. I'm trying to find what page it's on because you know it's easy to overlook. There's so many great things in here. I don't know about you guys, but it's easy to overlook some of the yummy stuff. So it's here. It's in the Happiness Blooms suite on page 25. Right here. Isn't it pretty? It's gorgeous, isn't it? So again, those tutorials will be uploaded right here to this Facebook group. Hold on a second. That ceiling fan is, I'm freezing all of a sudden. I'm just reaching over to the little remote because you know I'm married to Bob the Builder. So everything in my house either has a timer or a remote. Oop! I love that. Alice says she loves the polka dot ribbon. Isn't that white polka dot ribbon fun? It is. It's awesome. I love it. All right. Before I do the next prize patrol, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the back order and forecasting situation. So I'm going to give you a very condensed version of what Sarah had told us day before yesterday. Sarah is the CEO of Stampin' Up. Her mom was the co-founder. She had started Stampin' Up with her sister. So basically what happens is they forecast based on past experience. So for instance, a really hot selling punch will sell about 15,000. All right. Well, we sold that in the butterfly duet punch in like a matter of like a week or two. Megan, correct me if I've got the time frame wrong, but it was crazy fast how fast it sold. So what happens is we then, as we see it selling so quickly, Stampin' Up's forecasting team and their sales team put in an order for another one. Well, guess what happened? It's Chinese New Year. That means pretty much everything in China has shut down, and all the punches do come from China. There are no punches manufactured in the United States that are even worthy of having. I know I would love U.S. products as well to support our own country, but they're just not feasible for us. So not only that, we are now at a standstill because of Chinese New Year. The factories just shut down. As a matter of fact, I'm told that some of those people in those factories don't even come back after Chinese New Year. So when Stampin' Up saw this punch was selling like hotcakes, I'm just using this as an example, all right? Because this is definitely a good example. I've got to fix this. I see you guys are all crooked. I'm sorry. Making you dizzy in the background. They see the punch is selling like crazy or the product is selling like crazy, something we don't manufacture. 90 days ahead of time, they will put in an order for more, and it's thousands more. It's not just a few, it's thousands and thousands more. Well, it's 90 days ahead of time, and now we've got to wait for it to be manufactured, which should be plenty of time, and then shipped to us. But then Chinese New Year hit, so that just totally put a kibosh on things. It does hurt celebration. Stampin' Up has looked into maybe changing celebration time frames to a different time of the year, so that we're not impacted by Chinese New Year. We've also been talked about all kinds of other things about time frames and product. Oh, Mom showed up. Hi, Mom. I'm glad you're here. Those of you that are new, Fortune Burke is my mom. You're tardy, Mom, but I'll forgive you. So that's a little bit about the forecasting. It's not like Stampin' Up is not on top of things. They totally are, but we're at the mercy of shipment times. Stamp sets are manufactured by Stampin' Up in Kanab, Utah, which is where the factory is. So even though these may go on back order, it's not a big deal because we manufacture them and the turnaround time is fairly quickly. So if you see a stamp set on back order, don't freak out because it's coming. That we can control. The paper comes in huge pallets. When I say pallets, I mean like probably like 6 foot by 6 foot. And then there's a huge paper cutter at Stampin' Up that actually cuts it into the 8.5 by 11 or the 12 by 12 that you guys buy. So that we have some control over too. And the ink pads, they're not manufactured by us, so the cases are made separately, and then we mix the colors ourselves and we put the ink pads together. And that's not for every color family, but that's for some. So hopefully this is going to make some sense. You're going to see that the things that typically go unorderable are things that include punches or dies because they're coming from overseas. So trust me when I tell you, there's a very detailed conversation that Stampin' Up shared, and they are totally on top of it. From what I understand from other people and friends who are in the project management and forecasting business, forecasting is a beast unto itself, and it is so difficult to determine what's going to be a hit and what doesn't. So another perfect example is that amazing cake builder punch and the cake stamp set. I'm flipping through here right now so I can show it to you in case you guys haven't paid attention to it. This kind of rolled out really, really slow. Now I know this is backwards because, you know, the front facing camera is just a mirrored image. It didn't sell out right away. And then all of a sudden, it went crazy. So this is unorderable right now too. Those products have been reordered. We are just waiting for them to get here. So I'm going to ask and beg for your patience. Please, please, please be patient. The company is doing their very best. You know, as demonstrators, this does not thrill me at all because obviously it has an impact on my business because it impacts you. But can you imagine from a company standpoint when the revenue is so important and now you can't get the product to sell? It's an ouch all the way around. So that's a little bit about that. I hope that didn't sound like a lot of rambling, but maybe it made a little bit of sense. So you know what? Let's follow that up with a prize patrol. All right, let's see what I've got here. I've got a package of 40 very vanilla envelopes. And if you remember, I have all your names inside of here. Some of you just joined me. Look at, you're all down inside. Every single one of you is on here, whether you are live or not, whether you're on Facebook or not. All right, so let's see who's getting this. I want to mix those up. And I want to make sure I have just one. I do. And it is Catherine Russell. Congratulations, Catherine. You have won the envelopes. I am searching for my glue dots. Megan's typing some stuff about the forecasting and the back orders, but I can't read it because it's on my phone and it's scrolling too fast. So I'll have to get to that. But I know that Megan has valuable information to share because obviously she was all privy to that information when we got it from Sarah. Susan says, thanks for explaining. It makes perfect sense. Well, thank you, Susan. You know, Stampin' Up! Products are fabulous. The quality of the paper and the color coordination, it's second to none that's on the marketplace. And those things that we have control over, you won't see on back order. It's the things that we don't. And they do their best to make sure that they come in. Trust me, Stampin' Up! Hates them more than we do. All right, I'm going to flip the camera down again. I've got another demonstration for you and more inspiration to share. So here we go. Okay, now I got to zoom you in again, so bear with me. Okay, let's move you in. All right, let me move these out of the way. I would love to know which one was your favorite. Leave me a comment. All right, I'm going to move that, and I'm going to move that. I'm taking those ink pads, and I'm throwing those over there. Got to make room in this little corner. Here we go. I'm bringing the other one back, and I've got to move out my stamps. We got to like do a little what I call stamp shuffle here, so bear with me. All right, now I got to bring in the new ones. I'm going to use this, Bloom by Bloom. You guys want to hear a funny story about this? I actually designed tonight's cards in December. I know. And then I did that poll on our VIP page, and I'm like, you guys, you know, what card making kit do you want for April and May? And this overwhelmingly won as your choice for April. So it will be the April card making kit. But I already had these designed for Live with Lisa tonight. And I thought, you know what? All the more reason why you'll want it because I'm going to have a whole plethora of ideas for you. So that's what I'm going to be using tonight. I'm going to bring out some more ink pads here. Let me switch those out of the way. So I'm going to pull out my images that I've already needed. I'm still moving stuff around. Bear with me. It's kind of a fury of little space here. I am going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to bring in my scratch paper again. All right, I see someone's typing something. Oh, Patty says, thanks for sharing all that information. It's helpful to know. You are very welcome. If ever you're really concerned, please know that you can always talk to me and ask me questions. I will share with you whatever I know. All right, this piece of paper is where I'm going to do my stamping, and I said a little prayer before this because this is one of those projects where Lisa's head needs to be like right down here in order to see it. But have no fear because I stamped up a couple others before you joined me where my head was much closer to make sure that I could see what I was doing. I'm going to use Night of Navy. I do love this color. It makes wonderful different shades too. So if you ever notice that you can stamp off, you can get 3 really beautiful shades of color with this one ink pad. So this is the little daisy that's inside this stamp set. And you know, quite frankly, there's a lot of great ideas out on this stamp set already on Pinterest, but I haven't seen too many people use this. So I was really challenged to try to give you as many ideas as possible. So here's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp this one like front and center. And then I'm going to stamp another one next to it. And another one here. Now I know they're not equally perfect even, but that's okay. you know, flowers grow at different heights, right? The next thing I'm going to do, I want to clean this off a little bit. Do you guys see how I have ink down in the negative areas? I got a little zealous. So I'm going to my scrub, which is right off camera, and I'm just going to ink this, I'm sorry, clean it. And I'm going to make sure that it's not too sopping wet. There's nothing worse than a wet block in your ink pad, right? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this kind of gingerly because I want to make sure I can kind of see where I'm going. This is not symmetrical, by the way, which is why Lisa's head needs to be all the way down here. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do this very well because the camera is literally in the way, but I'm going to give this the college try. I'm tipping this, I'm turning it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but I'm trying to get in between. Yeah, that's kind of an epic fail, but that's okay. I've got one that looks a lot prettier. I just want to make sure you guys get an idea of kind of how this goes. And when I tell you my head is a good 18, 20 inches away, I'm not kidding. So you get the general idea, right? All right, so I'm going to put that right off camera. And then because of the actual magic of what I call television, there we go. There's one that looks much better. You can do it. It's easy to do. Just make sure you're lining up the petals in between a blank area. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over now to a different color. Actually, no, I'm not. I changed my mind. I'm going to pull out the greeting. This stamp set does not have any greetings in it. I want to make sure that you guys see that. This is strictly a bold graphic stamp set. Lots and lots of fun. Look at that dotted image. Denise says, Lisa, we appreciate that you're accessible and always answer our questions. Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I love you guys. And you know what? We share this common passion of Stampin' Up! Products and stamping. And I always want to be here for you, and I always will be. So I'm so glad that you're happy that I provide you with the service that you deserve. The Hello Beautiful came from the Butterfly Gala, say that fast, Butterfly Gala stamp set. So I'm going to tap that on here, and I'm going to stamp that here near the bottom. There we go. Now we got our greeting on. And that's strictly so that I have some placement idea on where I'm going to put my stems. So I'm switching over now to the Call Me Clover. And I've pulled out the short stem and leaf from that stamp set. Now this stamp set has several. You'll see there's one here that's bigger, and there's one here that's smaller, and there's an individual leaf. And there's lots of fun little pieces here. So I've got the shorter stem and the leaf that's here, and I'm going to ink that one up. And I'm going to stamp that here. I'm not even worried that I'm going up inside the petals a little bit. It's totally fine. And then I'm going to do the next one here and the next one here. Pretty simple, huh? All right, so the beauty of this card comes in with a couple little finishing touches. I'm going to take one of these little tiny flowers from the stamp set. I know it's probably hard to see. And then I'm going to ink this one up. And I'm going to put that right here on the edge of my Hello Beautiful. And then I am going to close this up. Now I've got a project for you on the tutorial that's going to be slightly different than the one I'm going to demonstrate, simply because I want to give you another idea, another alternative, okay? This whole Bloom by Bloom, which is the Happiness Blooms, comes also as a bundle, which includes this amazing, what I'm calling 4-pack of punches. So we've got different shapes of flowers, and then we've got a flower center and a little leaf, so you can build up all kinds of fun things. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this one punch, which very much looks like this stamp. And I'm going to punch out 3 of these. So I've got 1, 2, and then 3. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add these with glue dots to the center of my flowers, just to give this a little extra color. So I've got my glue dots here. And I've got my first flower, so I'm going to put that here in the center. I need my pickup tool. These are pretty small. How many of you have gotten this thing? I love this thing. I wonder what I did before this thing, because look, isn't that a lot easier than trying to pick it up with my little fingernails off the table? Absolutely fabulous tool. Love it. And then I've got my paper piercing tool on this end, which will help me peel it off without distorting my punched image. And I'm going to put that right here in the center. So I've got that one, and then I've got this one. I'm going to move you guys in a little closer so you can see better. I'm going to move you up too so you can see even better yet. Okay, I think that helps, huh? And then one other one here. Oh, look at that. It just jumped right off. And then another one. There we go. Now we've got all 3, but it looks kind of like it's lost, doesn't it? Well, there comes these absolute beautiful coordinated accessories called Happiness Blooms Enamel Dots. You're going to find that they come in 5 different colors. And these are reminiscent of the Designer Series paper. Now, I want to show this to you. I want to make sure I got the right page here. I'm trying to remember what page was it. Page 27, 28, 29. Yep, I'm close. 25. So here's the suite in the Occasions catalog. Here's the stamp set. Right here are the Designer Series papers. Do you guys see this? Bright, cheerful colors. And you'll have seen me make other cards with these. I'm absolutely loving these colors. You know what's funny is I never would have thought to put these 3 colors together, or even the navy and the green and the clover, because it's so dark. But oh my gosh, they're so much fun. So I really am going to encourage you to take a look at this. This is going to be the April card making kit, just so that you know that. We're going to be using that bundle. So on these little enamel dots, you know, the glue dots are already on the back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the navy ones. I'm going to come up underneath here with my paper piercing tool. And of course, okay, my head's super far away. I'm getting the age now, friends, where I need to be like super close to make things work. And then I'm going to come up right here with my hand. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. And I'm going to take another one. Yep, that's a lot better. The little cellophane backing that's here, this little piece of acetate to hold these, I find if I get up underneath here, it's a lot easier for me. And then I'll tack that one in place. This one's a little bit off-centered. That's okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of white classic weave ribbon to this. And I am going to push this right around here. But you know what? I am so tired of fighting ribbon that never wants to stay. So I'm going to give you another tip. I'm going to find visually the center of this ribbon using my silicone craft sheet so that it doesn't stick. Here's my stale adhesive right on top. It's going to work, I promise. I'm going to work with this right about here. And then I'm going to wrap this around. So now I don't have to worry about this slipping. I've kind of tacked it in place. Just a really, really good tip for you if you like to use ribbon like I do and it's always sliding all over the place. And then I'm going to do that exact same single loop bow that we had just done on the previous card. Now remember, just like a bow, but you're going to pull one end all the way through. And then you're going to pull tightly. Did you know that you can color this classic weave ribbon? You can use the Stampin' Spritzer. You can use your Stampin' Blends with the thick tip. It's going to suck up quite a bit of ink because this is cotton, all right? Or you can actually use your ink pad and a sponge and hold this, like for instance, if this was my open ink pad, and I have a sponge and I would just pull it through there and it's going to color it. So if you buy the white ribbon, it's going to give you a lot of opportunities to change up the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this on another angle. Kind of wasted a little bit of ribbon. No, I didn't, because you know I'm going to save that. I'll use that for something. This now I'm going to flip over and we're going to do a little bit of layering here. I've got adhesive on the back side. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I do ribbon, not necessarily this one, my adhesive doesn't want to stick right around there. It kind of wants to lift. So I'm going to add adhesive right on my ribbon and right around it. And you can always add a glue dot there if you're using a bulkier ribbon than this one. For some reason, my iPad froze. I'm trying to catch up with you. All right, here we go. And then I've got a layer of Call Me Clover. I'm going to place that here. And then I'm going to flip this over one more time. Going to add a little bit more adhesive. And then I've got a layer of Night of Navy. And that's going to go here. You know, simple cards can be just as pretty as very detailed cards. Sometimes it's all in the actual details of the simplicity. So the punch, the little enamel dots, the ribbon, the little doodads down by your greeting, just have a lot of just little pizzazz to it, doesn't it? Okay, so our regular standard card base, I scored it right before you joined me. I'm going to use that bone folder for that crisp edge. And you know me, I love dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these on the back. Make sure you hang with me because I have the card making kit for February to share with you. I'm excited to show you guys those cards. And then I'm going to peel off those little paper backings here to those dimensionals. And then this I'm going to put near the top of the card. Again, our instinct is to go in the center, right? So I'm going to go towards the top. And then I'm going to mount that here. Very, very simple. This is the one that we did tonight, and this is the one that's going to be in your tutorial. The only difference here is I added the punch that's part of this bundle, and I didn't here. Which one do you favor? You know, I like them both for different reasons. I have to admit, I'm not a green girl. I've never loved green. I know, and all of you that love green, I'm sorry, don't hate me. I've just never been a huge fan of green. But these two colors together are really, really pretty, and I'm really happy with this. So here's the one we made, and here's the alternative that's going to be in the tutorial. I'm moving you out. I know it's a little dizzy. Bear with me a second. I've got other cards to share with you. Let me pull those out. I keep them in plastic because if you can see the fury of things flying around here, I don't want them full of ink. All right, here's the next one. Very, very simple. The only dimensionals are here. This stamp set's called Sorry for Everything. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed it or not in the annual catalog, but I really do like this because the sorry can be used for lots of reasons. Look at this, even for your furry friend. I love that. Have you ever thought of making some cards for your vet? Yep, and dropping them off next time you're there. I'm sure that they would appreciate that. But super easy, and I use that detailed trio punch to corner around that. Very simple stamping, very simple. This one, the designer paper that I shared with you just a few minutes ago from that Happiness Blooms suite. Here's a piece of vellum. So all I did was I tucked it behind the designer series paper. Here's that punch from that 4-pack, just a different image, and I used those same little enamel dots in a different color to add a little bit here. But you see how the designer paper like does all the work. And then last but not least, this one's a little fussier in the fact that I used more images, but very simple color palette. This is Melon Mambo. This is part of that stamp set. And I just stamped them in shades of gray. So I've got the smoky slate and the basic gray, I think it is. I got to look. I don't even remember. And again, there's that polka dot tool you liked. Isn't that pretty? And then do you see this? This is from one of the dies. I think it's from the Seasons dies. It's from, I think, last year. But isn't that pretty? I love to mix and match my dies from other collections and to make other cards because sometimes they provide just that little bit of pop that you need. So here are the cards for tonight. This is the one that's in the tutorial. I wanted you to see how I use the punch to kind of expound that a little bit more here. Which one do you guys like the best? Denise is saying, I need to pull out my vellum. He hasn't used it in years. Oh my gosh, I love vellum. Vellum gives a really classy look, especially over really bright designer paper. Patty says, those are really pretty. Oh, I'm glad that you like it. Oh, you like this one, huh, Denise? The gray with the pink. It's really striking, isn't it? Mary Lou loves the blue and the green together. She really likes that card. And Megan says, I want to see the tutorial for that one, Lisa, with the Melon Mambo. You're going to get it, Megan. You're going to get it tomorrow in our team newsletter. All right, let me flip the camera around. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys liked it. That makes me so happy. Yay. Okay. You know, when I design them, I try to make them all really different. I know I've shared that with you before because I'm trying to cater to a bunch of different tastes. Elaine says she likes the daisies, the one that I did. Okay, awesome. Kay says, again, very nice set of cards. I like the Sorry for Your Lost one. May have to do those. You know what? This is my least favorite kind of card to make. You know, it's always so sad, isn't it? But those are the cards I need. And it seems like I don't have enough on hand. So when I sit down to make them, I kind of make 10 or 12 at a time so that I have them. And of course, you can do them in other colors. And keep in mind, if you're making them for men, you can turn this into a vine just by making sure that it goes up off the edge so you don't have to put a flower on it. So it's more masculine and, of course, change the colors. Ruth says she likes them all. Oh, wow. Home run, huh, Ruth? That's great. All right. Let me dig here. I have another Prize Patrol. This time I have the Night of Navy Stampin' Blends. I have the duo. So I have the light and the dark. Let's give those away. Let me shake you guys up. You're all in there. Susan says she likes them all too. Okay, Jean likes the orange and the yellow. You know what? Thank you. I am so glad that you guys kind of all chose something different because it goes to show why I try to make them all vastly different to try to cater to everyone's taste. So good. I did all right. All right, the winner of the blends is Helen Langless. Congratulations, Helen. Blue means that she is not on Facebook, but she will get the video recording tonight. I'm getting ready to, after tonight, I'll download that. I'll get that off to her. And I've got her blends all there ready to go. Don't go away. We have another Prize Patrol to do. but I want to share with you the card making kit for February. Oh, Susan, you're just a big fan, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad that you like what I create. Hi, Heidi. I'm glad that you joined us. All right, let me turn the camera down one more time. You guys are so sweet congratulating each other. I love that. You know, it's amazing the community of friends that we make when we stamp together, isn't it? I just love that. I love watching you interact with each other too on our VIP Facebook page. That just really warms my heart. It's kind of like having the modern day pen pal, right? We really don't know each other, but we kind of know each other because we see each other's projects and we talk stamping together, right? All right, I'm going to try to straighten you out here a little bit. And I want to make sure there's enough light. All right, so I am going to show you now the card making kit for February. I'm just moving paper around. It is centering around the Butterfly Duet Punch and the Butterfly Gala stamp set. All right. I know it is not orderable as a bundle because of this. And we just talked about this a little bit ago. So Heidi, I know you're just joining us. You might want to go back and watch the replay. I talk about this punch and some back order issues. So I want to make sure that you get some information on that. A lot of you have already bought this bundle because you really, really liked it, which is going to be perfect for the February card making kit. The stamp set is not on back order. It can be ordered. Remember, like I said a few minutes ago, we manufacture the stamp sets at Stampin' Up! So if they do go on back order, they're going to be around very, very quickly. So this one is available. You could fussy cut. You could. I know that. That's obviously an option. Perhaps you have a butterfly stamp set and a butterfly punch that you can use on the February card making kit. Please remember that your $50 order can be whatever you want. And because it's Stampin' Up's sale right now, celebration, you're going to get something for free with your February card making kit. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tip. There's more coming. What you see here is not all there is. There is more coming, and I want to point that out to you. Right here. Watch for another set of exclusive free items coming February 15th. I got a sneak peek of them on Monday. OMG, as my daughter would say. OMG. They are really fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. I cannot divulge what they are yet, but the good news is that demonstrators will be able to pre-order them tomorrow, so I hope to get them in my hands, so maybe I can get some samples made for you guys and do some videos. But they will be available for you to order on a $50 product order in February. Now keep in mind, if you do the card making kit, you can choose anything that would be the new ones in this because, yay, the card making kit ordering dates happens to fall perfectly with the new products. So the ordering dates for February are February 13th through the 16th, and the new stuff comes out on the 15th. So you'll have 2 days there to be able to claim some new celebration products with whatever your $50 product order is. So keep in mind, this is what I'm using to create my cards. You're going to make 8 cards, 2 of everything I'm going to show you here. And okay, so here's the first design. Stinking cute, huh? This is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 card, and as always, I'm going to give you all the cardstock and the designer series paper. So all you need are your inks, a punch or a stamp, whatever you want to use. This is the second one, and I'm going to give you the pre-punch pieces and the designer paper here. This is that flax ribbon that we just talked about on that first card. It's here on in my stamp room somewhere. I don't know where I put it now. Oh, here it is. It's buried on my desk. Remember we talked about this and how the strands can be separated and pulled out, and that's exactly what that is. Nothing fancy. If you have white baker's twine, that's going to work equally as good. You're also going to make these cards. So there's 6 now, 2, 4, and then the 6. You will get them in mixed colors because that's how they come. They come assorted, but isn't this beautiful? I'm going to give you some tips about stamping some of the solid images that come with this stamp set to fill these butterflies if you choose not to color them. You're going to notice these are lickety-split cards, really pretty, and then of course 2 of these. So that's a total of 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8 cards. Of course you're going to get envelopes. Now let me turn you around. You're going to get a video and a PDF tutorial. The video is going to allow you to stamp right along with me from home, step by step. Many of you have done card making kits with me before, so you know what's included. The PDF tutorial has numerous pictures per each of those cards, and step-by-step instructions, as well as cutting dimensions and supplies. So that's just a great way for you to keep the PDF on file on your computer so that you can refer back to it after you've made your kit. It's a great way for you to copy the layouts for other stamp sets that you have at home. I am hoping and praying that the February kit's going to still go okay. I'm a little concerned, I'll be honest with you, because I know it's not orderable. But I'm hoping that many of you already have butterflies in your artillery, and if you don't already have this one, that maybe you can get it at a later date as soon as it comes back into stock. We don't know when yet. They haven't told us. Jean says those are gorgeous. She can't wait. Oh, I'm so glad. I did give my VIPs advance notice on our VIP Facebook page that this was going to be not orderable. And I did see quite a few people come in with orders with that so they could grab it right before that happened. But I'm really excited about this kit. It's lots and lots of fun. And of course, who doesn't love free celebration selections to choose from? Yay! As soon as I'm able to tell you what they are, I will tell you. But I can tell you, they're really good. I think you're going to really, really be happy. Okay? So there's stuff in the $50 price purchase category and the 100. So I don't want you to think it's just for the higher price orders. It's not. There'll be things for you to choose in both areas. All right, last prize patrol. You guys ready? Okay, I'm bringing out the big guns, and you can thank Bob the Builder for this one. It's the Incredible Like You stamp set. When Bob the Builder went with me to Stampin' Up! Convention in November, I'm like, what month is it? In November. Because we went together, we ended up getting duplicates of everything. So I kept one, and this is the other one that was his. And he was like, give it away on Live with Lisa. Give it to your customers. I'm like, that is a fabulous idea because they deserve great stuff. All right, so I'm going to give away the Incredible Like You stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and shake this up. Alice says, I wish you would have ordered the bundle before it ran out. It's okay, but Alice, the good news is it's coming back, and it's my understanding it's going to be in the next annual catalog. That is my understanding. So it's coming back, so hang tight. Do you have butterflies already in a punch? I hope so. All right, the winner of the Incredible Like You is Barbara Bass. I'm going to add a glue dot to Barbara's name, and that's so I don't forget who gets what. And we'll get this in the mail to Barbara for tomorrow. So congratulations to our winners tonight. I consider you all winners. In just a few minutes, I will be back here on this Facebook page. I will upload the tutorials for you, and I will upload all the pictures for you, okay? So that'll be there accessible for you. Download those tutorials to your computer so that you have them. Obviously, this Facebook group always stays there. So if you want to rewatch these videos, you always can do that. I am so grateful for every single one of you. You have no idea how much. You allow me to do what I absolutely am passionate about, and I love to stamp, and I love to share it with every single one of you. So thank you, because it's your business that keeps me in business and allows me to keep sharing. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. If there's ever anything I can do to help you, to answer a question, to guide you, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. I usually have a very quick turnaround time with emails. I think you guys know that by now, right? And I try to chime in and answer your questions on our VIP page as quickly as possible. Tomorrow is the hashtag January giveaway for 2019. So this is your last chance to upload your pictures and your hashtag to those photos so I can put you in the drawing for tomorrow. So I'll be back with you tomorrow in our VIP page in order to pull the winner for that, and then I'll announce the hashtag February giveaway 2019 product bundle, and it is from the Occasions catalog. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Those of you up in the Midwest, please stay warm. It's great stamping weather. Stay in and stay warm. And I'll see you guys again soon. Oh, before I go, I want to let you know about the next Live with Lisa. February 28th. It's a Thursday. And don't forget, I'm going to be live on YouTube on Valentine's Day, Thursday, February 14th. So I hope that you guys can join me then, and I'll send reminders to you as well. All right, that's it now for sure. Have a good night. Bye-bye.